Yesterday was the first day of Falcons OTAs, organized team activities, and veteran Kirk Cousins had a chance to throw for the first time in a Falcons jersey. And in this video, we're going to get to see a little bit. Unfortunately, the media was not open to this practice, but the Falcons Twitter page actually did drop some footage, so we're going to be able to watch a little bit. So in this video, we're not only going to break down that, but we're also going to talk a little bit about some of the rookies that stood out in minicamp. We're going to look at some press conferences from Raheem Morris and Michael Penix. Basically, we're going to break down everything you need to know. Now that OTAs and then mandatory minicamp are ramping up, we're going to have so much footage, so many things to talk about, and so many highlights, news, and notes to break down going forward. So if you guys aren't subscribed, do yourself a favor. Subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost anything, and we're going to be covering the Falcons through every single thing, right? OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you can think of. Make sure you guys join the family. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Monday's OTAs. I do think they practice again today, so be ready for another video coming out tomorrow about the Falcons. Now, listen, very weird offseason for the Falcons. Obviously, signing Kirk Cousins, the 35-year-old, coming off a torn Achilles to a major deal, and then drafting Michael Penix in the first round as well. A lot of people did not really love that, but I think it puts them in the perfect situation where you compete now and compete later, right? You have not only your now, but you have your future at the same time, helping each other, getting each other better, and making practices as competitive as possible, which is huge. That is something that you want to see, something that you need to see from your team. Competitive practices, ready to work, and making each other better every single day. And quite frankly, day one of OTAs was exactly like that. Now, take everything with a grain of salt because, there's no pads, no contact, no full speed. So you take everything with a grain of salt. There is some 7-on-7s, is some 11-on-11s, which are, good things, some things to look at. But overall, we'll continue to see them get better as time goes on. Now, there was a beautiful pass of Kirk Cousins connecting with Drake London, their first one of the season in OTAs. Dude, beautiful zip on the ball from Kirk Cousins, and London goes up and gets it, man. Makes a big time grab. Something you just love to see. Saw a little bit of Troy Anderson, Caden Ellis as well. Man, just excited for these guys to get out on the football field and get to work, man. It's going to be so fun to see how some of these guys work together, right? You talk about Casey Washington. He's a guy that stood out a little bit in rookie minicamp. We're going to talk a little bit about rookie minicamp here in a second. We're gonna look at how those guys did, the rookies specifically. But man, I'm just excited to see some of these guys get to work with the main unit, with the main guys. I'm excited to see how Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore fit in. This is a brand new team. This is a completely different team with Kirk Cousins. And when you look at the Falcons from last season, they had one of the worst offenses in football. And I think with Kirk Cousins and the additions that they've made, this is going to be such a better football team from, top to the bottom. Even the defense is going to get better because the offense will be able to, sustain longer drives, keeping the defense, more well-rested throughout a game period. So I do love what they've done. Now, let's watch a little bit here of Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix just getting to work here in OTAs. Now, their first practice was a little bit rainy, but still making some really good throws here. As you see, some of the coaching staff getting to work with, some of the guys here in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins, see him dropping back, throwing deep right. And there's Kyle Pitts right there. The connection is back. Hey, we're not back. This is actually going to be, the first time we see it. There was rumors that, Kirk Cousins wanted that number 8, but they've agreed that he'll take 18. He'll keep number 8. So you still see a little bit of work there by 34. Some undrafted guys here. Some guys training, trying to work out, trying to make the team here. Going to get a lot of action. As you see, Cardell Hodge getting some work here with Kirk Cousins. Then we have a rep with Michael Penix. And number 80, who was Josh Ali. So all these guys just getting to work, working with each other at a high level, trying to build this chemistry, because once those pads come on, that's when the battles will start happening everywhere. I mean, you look up and down this roster. I mean, obviously it seems, and most likely Kirk Cousins will be your day one starter outside of maybe an injury, right? Knock on wood. But there is battle or battles everywhere. You have new Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore coming over here, Casey Washington, who's been looking so far good in rookie rookie minicamp. We'll see how he does, in the rest of OTAs. But that will be a big training camp battle as well. Who will the starting 3 wide receivers be for this team going forward? They've also added Dylan Drummond. You still have Chris Bear, Josh Ali, Isaiah Wooden. So there's most likely going to be a ton of battles here within the wide receiver room. Everywhere else, though, it looks like it's pretty much, the starters are the starters. Bijan, Kirk, Kyle Pitts, Caleb McGarry, Chris Lindstrom, Drew Dahlman, Matthew Bergeron, Jake Matthews. A lot of these guys seem like they'll be the day one starters. But then defensively, that's where things could get a little interesting. You have 4th-round pick Brandon Dorlus, and him competing with Zach Harrison, the former 3rd-round pick. So I think that could be a battle, unless Calais Campbell wants to come, back to the team. You have David Onyemata. You got Rook, the 2nd-round pick, who he might be fighting in for, some playing time going forward. You bring in Kentavious Street. I believe they may have had him already. Not too sure. Let me know in the comments down below. Then you draft a guy like, J.D. Bertrand. Does, again, seem like Caden Ellis and Troy Anderson will be your day one starters. Braylon Trice could definitely make an impact day one. Him and Lorenzo Carter might have a little bit of work in OTAs and training camp and preseason and all that. Then the DB room, I feel like the DB room is always really good here in Atlanta. Clark Phillips broke out last offseason and really looked good during the regular season. And then you have guys like Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, D. Alford, Mike Hughes, right? Richie Grant. DeMarco Helms, the former 7th-round pick, looks like he could be a day one starter this year, so that would be kind of cool to see that as well. But there are a lot of draft picks that are really fighting for an opportunity this season right away, with the Atlanta Falcons team. But overall, guys, we just got to be excited, man. Kirk Cousins coming over here, big contract. Again, I know a lot of people are a little bit upset about it, but I think it gives you guys such a good opportunity to win now and for the future as well. With Michael Penix only getting better, learning, developing. I don't think Michael Penix would have been ready day one either, so I just think it's really good. And seeing him run these dig routes and, hitting their receivers, you can just tell this team is really preparing, really getting ready for the start of the season, because the Falcons, man, they could even win their division this year, man. I think the Falcons are going to be one of the most slept-on teams. I think we'll quickly realize how good of a team they really are. Last year, their offense was really, really bad. Again, 26th in the NFL in terms of points per game. Didn't get too many yards per game. Ranked 21 in QB sack percentage, 28 in interception percentage, and number 19 in yards per rush. Not only is this team going to be better running the football, but I think it's going to open up their passing game with Kirk Cousins, which will ultimately allow them to run the ball more productively as well. So I'm super excited to see what the Falcons continue to do here. Let me know in the comments down below, who are you most excited to see. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications, and tomorrow we'll have even more Falcons coverage. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.